graduands. Our guest speaker today has spent the past 25 years living and working in South and Central America, mainland China, and now Southeast Asia. Currently serving as the chairman of Infinite Earth, Todd Lemons is also the founder and CEO of Envision Corporation, an incubator for sustainability technologies and a leader in the development of private sector environmental finance. Under his leadership, Envision has seeded several environmental startups, including Tribal Hands, Entech Industries, Composite Technologies International, and more recently, the Infinite Group. One of these companies, Infinite Earth, is developing new environmental enterprise models that are rewriting the rules on conservation and natural resource management. In 2010, Infinite Earth authored the world's first forest carbon accounting methodology, now accepted by the United Nations as the global standard. Infinite Earth also owns and manages the world's largest forest carbon project in Indonesia, on the island of Borneo. The project is also the world's largest privately funded wetlands and orangutan reserve, all funded through the creation of these new for-profit conservation models. Additionally, the company is pioneering leapfrog technologies in hydroponics that promise to revolutionize the burgeoning field of vertical urban farming. I'm also delighted that Todd has seen fit to start a hydroponics research center at this school, probably the first of its kind in any school in the world. And I'm looking forward to working with students in the future on that very important technology. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite Todd Lemons to the podium to give this year's graduation address. Thank you.
Mr. Meredith, for honoring me with this invitation. I must admit it's a humbling and weighty responsibility to be tasked with giving a graduation speech. Here you all are at a pivotal point in your lives, and I'm meant to inspire you, to give you some sage advice that you'll take with you on your life's journey, and maybe even pull out of your pockets once in a while. That's a challenging notion, because the world that you are about to step into looks nothing like the world that I entered upon graduating 35 years ago. I grew up in a monochromatic, low-definition world. Everything in my world had a shade of black or white, including people, religions, politics, and careers. In 1981, when I graduated, the world had a set of black and white rules that had been in the making for decades. There was a defined set of respectable career choices, the usual: lawyers, doctors, architects, engineers, finance. That was basically it, and lines were not crossed. Engineers were not entrepreneurs. Financiers were not environmentalists. Educators and academics were certainly not millionaires. If any of you have studied ancient history, you'll know that the 1980s was defined by an unapologetic and unrestrained pursuit of money. Society broadly measured success in dollar signs and zeros, with happiness being an unnecessary philosophical contrivance. Happiness, we were led to believe, was the mere byproduct of more consumption, begotten by increased monetary success. And therefore, the path to happiness must certainly be the pursuit of more money. Those were the rules. That's all you really needed to understand. The world was ours for the taking, we were told. And so we took. And we took, and we took some more. Far more than our fair share, as it turns out. In just a few short decades, my generation and the one before me has succeeded in conquering the world, virtually every corner of it. The world now stands quivering in submission. And yet, ironically, we, the conquerors, are really just slaves, and we always have been. We were enslaved by an outdated and narrowly defined worldview, a narrowly defined view of what constitutes success, and an unimaginative view of what constitutes progress. A limited set of paths to happiness, and a suffocatingly narrow set of views on what defines self. But you, I'm happy to say, are different. Whether you know it or not, you have been born free persons by the very timing of your birth. Now, as young adults, you are entering a world on the precipice of great change, and consequently you are free. You are free of the shackles of the old cosmologies. You are free to define yourselves and your world unencumbered by the ideological biases and historical norms of the old world. Your world is polychromatic, and success in that world will depend on your ability to see an infinite set of possibilities, visible only in full-color HD. I believe that this special school, in this special place, has greatly facilitated that freedom and that ability. Here in this multicultural environment, you have been freed from the cultural confines you would have faced back home. This place has afforded you the freedom to find your deeper, truer selves. And so it is you who inspires me. It is you who gives me hope for the future. For with that truer self, you have a greater capacity to change the world for good. And with that, you have a greater capacity to be truly fulfilled. If there is any advice I can give you, it is that getting a degree to get a better job, to make more money, is not the end goal. Nor is it any guarantee of success, let alone happiness. Do not leave here to get a degree to make a career for yourselves. That would be a black and white, low-definition view of the world. Whether you are headed to university or taking a gap year, my advice to you is the same. Leave here and get an education in anything with just one explicit goal: to make a life, not just a career, and to change the world. You will achieve both by becoming the greatest version of you that you can be. Whatever your interests, seek out the very best in their fields and learn from them. And then synthesize that knowledge and experience with your own uniqueness. What stands before you today is an undefined future. While that might be intimidating, it is equally liberating, and you must embrace that. The old rules will no longer apply. The old paths to success will not lead you there. While we were the generation of conqueror slaves, you will be the generation of liberated healers. Your success will be found in repairing what we have degraded and in replacing what we have depleted. Your future and the future of this planet will demand that you seek economic growth balanced with social and environmental justice. That you rewrite the very definition of what constitutes progress. No matter what profession you pursue, be it architecture, hospitality, engineering, medicine, education, agriculture, politics, law, or finance, the very survival of this planet will most certainly be a major component and consideration in your career. As such, in whatever capacity and profession you find yourselves, you will have the opportunity and the ability to make a difference in this world. And I assure you that in making a difference, you will also make your mark. Trust me, there is no joy or success in replicating the status quo or in following the masses, particularly those that came before you. You are all unique, and I beg you to celebrate that uniqueness above all else. I am sure that your individual paths to success will be inextricably tied to your ability to envision a world beyond that of your peers. This special place has given you that ability. You already possess skills that your generational peers do not have and cannot replicate. You are free from geographic, racial, cultural, and linguistic barriers. Your eyes, your minds, your hearts, and your spirits are wide open, and so too are your opportunities. You are well prepared to enter this new world and give it shape through your leadership. So go forward. Go out into the world. Be true to your nature. Be the best version of you that you can be and make a difference. Change the world for good. And by all means, pursue your personal life aspirations, financial or otherwise. But always, always through the filter of service to something greater than yourselves. Because it is there that you will find success and fulfillment and long-lasting happiness. Good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lemons, for your truly inspiring words.